What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the spot where we kick back and react to all kind of different things. Alright, so what we got going on today? Alright, so I did a poll asking if you guys wanted me to check out some Japanese culture videos. There's a lot of Japanese YouTubers coming up, or that's been coming up in the past couple of years, that's doing, content on Japanese culture, and they've been blowing up. So here we are. The votes are in. You guys said you wanted to see it, so here it is. So we're gonna start off with somebody that I've been watching. This guy is Shogo. His channel is Let's Ask Shogo. Some of you guys might be familiar with it. He's over 1 million subs at this point. But I've seen a lot of his shorts. I've seen a couple of his longer videos, but we're about to start diving into his content heavily in order to get a little bit of extra Japanese culture education in that sense. All right, so this one today is called Watch Before Giving Anything to Japanese People. I'm assuming that this has to do with the rules of gift giving in Japan, which I hear are pretty complex. So we're gonna check this out, see how it compares to ours. So I know for us, we don't have strict rules, but we have some unwritten rules and some nuances to gift giving and everything. So we'll see how that compares to us. So let's go ahead and get into this. But before we do, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? It costs you nothing, and it keeps you up on all the new videos that get dropped on this channel. Not to mention, it gets us one step closer to our goal for this year, trying to get to 3,500 subs. Alright, so if you haven't hit that button yet, just remember, it is absolutely free. Hit that subscribe button and become an official supporter. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this. Let's Ask Shogo, teaching us why or how to give gifts to Japanese people. Alright, let's go.
You probably wouldn't know why if you haven't ever studied Japanese before. Can you believe this is real? By the way, my wife and I thought this rule was ridiculous. Yes, I know. The super tiresome side of Japanese culture.
Alright.
Minasan konnichiwa, and welcome to Let's
I just
Ask
noticed.
Shogo.
From the last time I seen him, he's got a new intro. Okay, there you go. Do your thing.
Finally being relaxed, I see more and more people coming to Japan. However, I often receive messages telling me that they want to prepare gifts for the Japanese people they are going to meet, but are afraid that they might give something inappropriate. I can understand why you're worried. Japanese love rules, don't we? So today, I will introduce 5 gift-giving taboos in Japan. The 5 taboos will get more and more.
Oh, table of contents. The item you use on your hair. Something Japanese love to drink. What you shouldn't give to superiors. And problems about the price. Okay.
Important towards the end, so please stay with us till the end of this video. Also, in the last chapter, I would like to give you my advice on gifts that I rather recommend. By watching this video, you will forever be released from the fear of giving gifts to Japanese people and will be able to sleep well at night. If there are any other questions about gift giving after watching this video, please let me know in the comments. And before I start, although these taboos were introduced in books and websites, in reality, they are not that strictly considered today. In the end, what's most important is to think about what's best for the person who you're giving the gift to. In this channel, it can take...
Remember, keep in mind what you said though. It's not as strict today. You know what that translates to. That means that the younger generation isn't as strict, but the older generation most likely is.
Closer look at Japanese traditional culture, tips on travel in Kyoto, and social problems in Japan. So learners and lovers of Japanese language and culture, be sure to subscribe to enjoy more content. それでは本日は贈り物を届けてまいりましょう。1. Cutlery. Then let's start with something that is rather easier to understand why it is a taboo. Partly like kitchen knives is considered taboo because they imply the meaning of cutting relationships. Also items that could break and shatter like glass.
What? Hold up. I've never heard of that before. Giving a kitchen knife or a set of knives as a gift is bad because it's like you're severing the relationship. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so out here it's not an issue. In fact, giving somebody a set of kitchen knives, they'd be happy to receive them. So just keep that in mind. If you go to Japan, no kitchen knife sets.
Kitchen knives is considered taboo because they imply the meaning of cutting relationships. Also, items that could break and shatter like glass are often associated with broken relationships. It should especially be avoided.
So no glass either. So there we go. So on the don't buy list, we have knife sets and anything fragile, like anything glass, basically. Okay.
Given as a wedding gift. However, because there are many high-quality kitchen knives in Japan, I think many people would be pleased to receive them. I actually had a friend who gave us a pair of glasses for our wedding, but we are happy to use them even today. A knife might be a little strange for a wedding celebration, but if it is what is desired, in the end, that's also fine.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, like you said, there's a lot of people today may not be as strict. It depends on the person and everything. But I don't know. I would think it'd be the quality of the knife and everything. Like if they got you some special, crafted kitchen knife, or maybe something that's supposed to be like more of a decorative kind of knife and everything, I wouldn't see a problem with that. But again, if you're dealing with somebody who is very much into the strict rules of it all, then yeah, those are the things you want to avoid, I guess. Combs, huh?
Combs. Now from here, the way of thinking is going to get very unique to Japan. Do you have any clue
Very
why
unique,
a
he warned
comb
us.
is a gift taboo? You probably wouldn't know why if you haven't ever studied Japanese before. Combs are called kushi in Japanese. This is actually a homonym to kushi, which means to suffer and die. This is why combs are considered to be an unlucky item. Those of you who've been
Wait, combs are unlucky? But you gotta do your hair. You gotta comb it out, but combs are unlucky because of basically because of a kanji issue. Oh wow. Okay.
watching my videos must know already, but Japanese people love such homonyms. For example, in a previous video, I introduced a superstition that clipping your nails at night is bad, because that is called yozume, which is the same pronunciation as yozume, which means to shorten one's lifespan. Another gift taboo that is related to numbers is the amount of money you
gift taboos because of just word association. This word that we use today sounds like this word from then that meant this, so. And as funny as that is, we kind of do it too. If we can all think of words that we saw like the older generation that kind of changed the usage of, and then they still kind of freak out, or the fact that slang words change all the time. So, and then you get those people who remember what certain stuff may have meant at what point in time, and yeah, freaks them out. And it doesn't matter that the actual thing that we're talking about could be worlds different from whatever it is that's bothering them, but just because they share a similar set of letters that describe them, that's enough to freak them out. So that's something that I've seen here with us, so I can understand how they could become that superstitious in for some of this stuff.
Give as gifts at a wedding. In Japan, there's a tradition to hand money to the newly married couple when you take part in their wedding. When you do so, you need to decide the amount of money you want to give them. But you should never give them an even number like 20,000, 40,000, or 60,000 yen. It's bad luck because it can be divided into two evenly and can be associated with the couple being separated.
Wow.
Can you believe this is real? By the way, my wife and I...
No, I can't believe this is real. So, so many superstitions in this so far. So, going down the list of superstitions, that's pretty much what this is. The superstitions behind gift giving in Japan. That's pretty much what this is. So, no knives, no combs, no glass, and when you give money, make sure you give an odd number. Because an even number means an even split, like you're wishing for a divorce. That's wow. The fact that, and you know that even though, like you said before, not everybody takes it so serious. You know that there's them ones. There's them ones out there that take it super serious. You know, it's like, I could imagine like my mom. My mom was like super serious when it came down to superstitions. She had so many superstitions. And if you disrespected one of those superstitions and didn't make it right in front of her, oh, she'd let you know, like right then and there, like you need to fix this situation before you ruin her whole future and everything. So you know that there's people over there in Japan who really takes this serious and would really get upset over an even number of cash. Wow.
Thought this rule was ridiculous, and we agreed to ask our guests to all bring 20,000 yen. But do you think we will ever split up?
For real.
3. Tea. Now I bet this is very surprising to you. I believe that many people have an image that Japanese people often drink tea. This is due to an old tradition. Earlier I explained that money is given as a gift to celebrate a wedding, but money called koden is also given at funerals as an expression of condolences. A common gift that the family gives back to the participants for this money is tea. In other words, if you give someone tea on any other occasion, it seems to be associated with someone's death. However, if you know that the person likes tea and it clearly has a bright package, it may not be a problem. In the same way, white handkerchiefs...
I'm sorry, I had to laugh at that one. Like, tea associated with funerals? If you as a gift. So I guess if you guys go out for tea or if you just serve tea, that's okay. But if you package it up and give it as a gift, that's like the same, because I know some from studying Japanese, as you know, because I'm trying to learn the language and everything. I do know that there's about the etiquette when you're sitting at a table. Like, if you stick your chopsticks in a bowl and they're sitting up, you know how we would normally wouldn't think about it. We would just, you know, take our spoon, fork, chopsticks, whatever, and just stick it in our bowl when we're not using it and then pick it up when we're ready to eat again. That's a huge taboo over there because that's associated with the whole funeral ritual. So... yeah, let us be very careful. Otherwise, you make people think that somebody died or is going to die. Oh, wow.
And chopsticks are considered gift taboos. Because they're also...
I was just talking about chopsticks. Why are chopsticks gift taboos? We gotta back this up. Why are chopsticks gift taboos? I mean, it's kind of weird because it's just like giving somebody a spoon or a fork as a gift, so... but why is it a taboo?
Likes tea, and it clearly has a bright package. It may not be a problem. In the same way, white handkerchiefs and chopsticks are considered gift taboos because they're also associated with death. A handkerchief may seem like the right gift, but a white one is not good because it resembles the cloth you would put over the face of a deceased person. Chopsticks as gifts could have a good meaning, especially for weddings. However, you may want to refrain from giving it to anyone who is hospitalized or elderly. This is because chopsticks, hashi, and bridges, hashi, are homonyms in Japanese, and it can be associated with the crossing of the Sanzu River. Sanzu River is a river that the dead crosses when they go to the afterlife, as believed in Buddhist ideology. By the way, in Japan, there's a tradition of...
and I was just talking about the food etiquette behind that entire, what he just explained there. So, but I didn't know that the same association was giving chopsticks as a gift, too. I just thought it was about the whole food thing, like don't stick it in your bowl of rice or don't have it like sticking up and everything. But don't even give it as a gift either. Unless you know them and they know that, you know, not to take it the wrong way. But definitely don't give it to anybody who's sick or old because that's like telling them you're ready for them to go, huh? Whew, man. And again, knowing my mom and the superstitions that she had from the South, I completely understand, you know, how the whole mindset of it, because I grew up around it and everything, even though I myself am not superstitious. I'm just like, wow, that's a lot of landmines to navigate around just to give somebody a gift.
Passing the bones of lost ones after cremation using chopsticks. But this is done in the hope that the deceased person will be able to cross the river safely. 4. Socks and shoes. You may have opportunities to give gifts to someone who is older or superior to you. However, Japan is a society with a very strict hierarchical relationships. So there are a few things that should not be given to avoid being rude. Socks and shoes are the two of the most representative ones. Items worn on the feet are considered taboos because of the implication of stepping on them. Also, socks are called kutsushita in Japanese. And this word contains shita means down or lower. This gives it another reason why it shouldn't be given to superiors. Yes, I know. the super tiresome side of Japanese culture.
Just for the record, anybody who's Japanese who's watching this, if you're coming to America, it's the exact opposite. You buy somebody some nice new shoes, they will love you for it. We love getting shoes as a gift out here. Especially me, I love getting a nice pair of new shoes. Doesn't even matter, you know, it's not even about whether or not we need one. Just a new, fresh kick, some dress shoes, some sneakers, whatever. It doesn't even matter what style of shoes, as long as they're nice. You get some nice shoes, oh, nice gift. So anybody who's planning on coming to America, just remember it's the reverse when you get over here.
Let me introduce a few other taboos too. 1. Writing utensils. Use this and do your best. 2. Watch.
Use this and do your best. I don't know why that's funny to me. It just sounds, it sounds so condescending. Like you have somebody like your pencil and it's just like, do your best. And it's like somebody who's the same age as you and everything. It's like talking to me like some elementary school kid. Oh man, just the way he said that, I understood the tone and how that could be off-putting. A watch or a bag, be more diligent. Oh man, like everything means something. You can't just be like, I gave it to you just because, or because I thought it was nice. And then belt, pull yourself together. These 3 right here are the funniest that I've seen so far. Oh man. I'm sorry to laugh, man. I'm like, they're superstitions though, at the end of the day. That's all they are, they're superstitions. Oh man, my mom had some of the craziest ones, like, don't pick up pennies off of her rug because then it would like mess up her money in her bank account. Like weird stuff like that. Like, so I know superstitions, man. This is hilarious to me because it reminds me of growing up around my mom's superstitions.
Yes, I know. The super tiresome side of Japanese culture. Let me introduce a few other taboos too. 1. Writing utensils. Use this and do your best. 2. Watch or bag. Be more diligent. 3. Belt. Pull yourself together. All these messages are considered bad because they sound like a command from a subordinate to a superior. By the way, I've made a video in the past about words you shouldn't say to your boss in Japan. So if you're interested, I hope you can check that out too.
Let me know if you want that to be the next video.
5. Something too expensive. Lastly, let's talk about the price of the gifts. Japan has many traditions of giving gifts to each other, but in general, there's a rule that we must give back a gift that is half the price of what we received. I too first thought that it is pointless to receive a gift if you have to give back the person so much. But it seems that this exchange itself is a form of communication. In other words, you should avoid buying a super expensive gift to show your appreciation. Japanese people tend to think that they must give something of the same level in return, so some people might feel sorry to accept it. Of course, the average price will vary depending on the occasion, but if it's just a greeting gift, a few thousand yen worth of something is recommended. It may seem stingy, but Japanese people find it easier that way.
I mean, is there a deadline to it? Because for me, it feels kind of natural. If somebody gives me something, it may not be immediate, but I'm going to remember that and, you know, give them something at a time that I feel is appropriate. So the return gift is like supposed to be on average half of what the original gift was. That seems a little strict on that end, but on that end. But I'm just thinking to myself, is there a deadline? Like if I wait too long, does it no longer count as me, you know, a return gift and now I've ruined the process? I wonder.
So we discussed a lot of gift rules, but now I'm sure you have no clue what to give. I always struggle with this too.
That's the other thing. It's like, okay, you went down the whole list of stuff we're not supposed to do. Now, okay, what can we buy? I have a feeling he's gonna talk about cookies.
From my experience, I recommend the following.
I've heard so much about cookies being used as gifts.
1. Something unique to your country. 2. Something you can consume. 3. Something you ask the other person with some choices.
Wait, hold up, what? Bring that back. What was that last part? Something you ask the other, you ask the other person with some choices. Okay, you ask them what they wanted, they let you know and stuff. But yeah, something unique to your country and something you can consume. Definitely sounds like he's gonna talk about cookies.
Unique to your country. The taboos we talked about today will oftentimes not be applied. For example, even if you give your friend some tea, if it is a rare kind that's not common in Japan, no one will associate it with funerals. Secondly, I think it is also important that the gift is something that can be quickly consumed. For example, if you give a gift like clothing that could last a long time, there's a risk that it could become an inconvenience if the other person doesn't like the design. Thus, some people recommend sweets that can be eaten, or high quality tissues and toilet paper that can be used and consumed. By the way, I love gifts.
So nothing that's meant to be permanent. Gifts that are meant to be eaten, consumed, used up, otherwise things that they're gonna run out of. Get them something they're gonna basically restock their supplies. Restock a supply in their house, and that'll make them happy. And then the rule about the tea, there's a catch there. Bring them tea that's not from Japan, and then you're good. All right, duly noted.
Giving Japanese incense as gifts. Of course, there are people who like or dislike certain fragrances, so I try to choose ones that are not so strong. Even if they don't like the fragrance and want to throw it away, it is small and easy to do so. Lastly, if you really have no clue what to give, you should just ask. But you need to be careful that by 99% chance, they will tell you that they don't need anything. So I would recommend you to give some options in advance.
Or like I do, instead of asking directly, get to know the person enough to where you know what kind of stuff they would really be into. That's the best way to give. Get to know the person. Don't tell them, just find out, after spending some time, and then do it,
And make them choose something. Like, you can ask them, if it's either coffee or cookies, which would you like? This will make it much easier for them to ask for a gift. Then lastly, today's conclusion. I introduced the 5 gift-giving taboos in Japan. 1. Cutlery. Cutlery and items that break like glass can be associated with broken relationships.
I find that one hilarious.
Combs are called kushi in Japanese, which is a homonym of kushi, which means to suffer and die. 3. Tea. Tea is a common gift that is given in return for money collected at funerals. Therefore, it can be associated with someone's death. White handkerchiefs and chopsticks are also not recommended as gifts for someone who is ill or elderly. 4. Socks and shoes. The following things are not recommended as gifts to give to superiors. 1. Shoes and socks. 2. Writing utensils. 3. Watch and bags. 4. Belts. 5. Something to expect.
And that entire list, again, for the Japanese viewers who are planning to maybe make a trip to America at some point. This entire list, well, except for the writing utensils. Although there's still, so if you get somebody like a nice pen, like a really nice design pen, then that would be different. But just a regular pen or pencil now. But shoes, socks, a watch, a nice bag, or a belt are all great gifts over here. If you're just gonna get something, off the top of your head and everything. We love new shoes. We love nice socks. Get some of those, and I would say shoes with socks. If you just get socks by themselves, they'd be kind of weird. But shoes and then a fresh pair of socks to go with their new shoes, that's a perfect gift out here. Same thing with a watch. Watches are pretty expensive, so that's something that you would reserve for somebody that you really, really want to do something special for. A bag, same thing. Good quality bags are pretty expensive. So that's only for special occasion kind of stuff if you would think about it like that. But belts aren't super expensive and you can find a nice belt. So yeah, so with this list being what it is, look at this and be like the reverse when you come over here.
Utensils. 3. Watch and bags. 4. Belts. 5. Something too expensive. Japanese people tend to think that they must give something of the same level in return, so some people might feel sorry to accept something too.
Now there's a nuance here. It depends on who you're dealing with as far as the whole expensive thing. You don't want to buy something too expensive as a gift or even a return gift out here either, because then it's kind of like, wow, you spend all this money on me and stuff. It can make things awkward out here, and all the same, even though it's not as strict of a thing. But the return gift is something that we're not as strict about. If somebody does something for you, they'll definitely be happy you do something back for them. But it's not expected that you immediately buy something at half value. We don't have this strict policy on how to do it.
too expensive. My recommended gifts to give a Japanese person are 1. Something unique to your country. 2. Something you can consume. 3. Something you ask the other person with some choices.
And on that note,
so that's it for today. Thank you very much.
On that note, real quick, as far as the food goes out here, same rule. We love food, we love snacks and everything. That's always gonna, I think that's a universal thing. Food is just the greatest gift you can give anyone. Good food though, nothing nasty.
Thank you much for watching. If you thought this video was useful for you to learn about the gift-giving culture in Japan, please hit the like button to help me boost this video to more people. And please do check out all the other activities I'm doing inside the description box. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next video. 皆さんどうもありがとうございました。So, as I said in the beginning of this video, to be honest, I think people in my generation, or maybe even my parents' generation, well, it really depends on where you are and such, but I think many people wouldn't mind these gift taboos as much as it was strict in the past. Maybe, like, for example, well, my parents are in their 50s, my grandparents are in their 70s and 80s. Maybe people above that age might still mind these things, especially if it's like the first time meeting, you know, each other and such. But anyone younger than that probably wouldn't mind so much about these taboos anymore, to be honest. Because before I looked these stuff up on books and on internet and such, I would never even consider it myself before. You know, of course, when I gave the gifts to superiors, I would mind it. But whenever I received anything myself, I wouldn't be like, what should I say? Feel that the other person is doing something rude just because of something. It wouldn't mind at all. It's really all up to the relationship. However, the thing is, the reason why I still wanted to make this video is because when you do actually give gifts to someone in Japan, most times I personally feel from the experience of exchanging messages with everyone, I think a lot of people told me that they want to give gifts to someone who is more older than them, or someone's superiors, or for example senseis of the martial arts or traditional culture that they're training in. In that case, they might be in an older generation, so it's something that you could still keep somewhere inside your mind. Yeah. So again, among all of the taboos videos that I made in the past before, this video is probably the one that you can really go a little bit easy on. It's not.
Oh yeah, and I'll add on to that when you talked about like a sensei, like a martial arts teacher, seeing as how they are the older teachers are very strict on tradition, especially the ones that are from either like Japan or China or stuff like that. They are, I know firsthand, because my brother studied martial arts. I was my brother's student. My brother was he was taught by an actual Chinese master and everything in Shaolin, and yeah, they're very strict. It's like some of the stuff I didn't even understand until later on in life when I was actually studied Japanese, and I was like, oh, that's why that's the way that is and everything. So yeah, very strict with those kind of teachers. And also I could see business people, because the whole business culture in Japan is strict about everything else, so I would expect gift giving would still be to the T by everything that they do out there. So definitely keep that in mind.
Not that strict in Japan today.
Oh, okay, that's the end of that one. All right, so I thought he had maybe more to say, but that's it. Anyway, very interesting stuff. What I got out of this is that it's a lot of superstitions over there, just like over here. Like I said, all of these superstitions just made me think about all of my mom's superstitions. They weren't the same ones, but some of them were just as out there, just as ridiculous in some cases, and just as like, why is this a rule? So I totally get the whole mindset of the superstitions and everything, of all these taboos that you would say, So very interesting, to say the least. But now you have it. So now you know, if you have a Japanese friend or you're going to visit Japan and you want to give a gift to somebody, these are things to avoid, these are things to look out for, and at the end of the day, just get to know them. Find out what they like. Everybody loves a gift that they truly wish that they had, a gift that they really like, So they appreciate that more than anything else. Anyway, that's it for this one. So y'all know what to do. Go down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this one. Let me know what you'd like to see me react to next. Hit that like button before you go. Share this video with everyone you know, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Alright, so till next time, take care of yourselves, and I'm out of here.